Today we're going to solve systems of linear equations by using substitution. Don't forget to take notes and do the survey at the end. Here are some steps. First, identify the lonely variable. This is the variable that has no coefficient. If it is not already done so, then you need to solve for one of the variables. The goal is to get an x equals something or a y equals something. Once you have that, you're going to substitute that equation into the second equation given and then solve for the remaining variable. After that, you're going to substitute that value back into either of the original equations in order to solve for that second variable. Most importantly, make sure you write your solution as a coordinate point, x, y. Here's our first example. First, we're going to identify the lonely variable. This one is m. It's already solved, so we've got m equals 8. Now, we can substitute that into the second equation and solve. So, where we see the m, we're going to put an 8. And then we're going to simplify. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 4s equals 64. We subtract 16 from both sides and divide by 4, and we get s equals 12. Now, usually we'd substitute the solution back into the other equation and solve for the second variable, but in this problem we already have both because we know that m is equal to 8, so we don't need to substitute a second time. We write our point in alphabetical order, so here we don't have x and y, we have m and s. So we're going to write it as 8, 12. Here are a couple more examples. Remember, first thing we're going to do is identify the variable we want to solve for. We want a lonely variable. The loneliest variable here is this y. So we're going to solve for y by adding 5x to both sides. Then we have y equals 5x minus 16. We're going to take what y equals and plug it into the other equation for y. So now we're going to have 3x minus 8, parentheses, 5x minus 16, because I replaced that y with the 5x minus 16, and equals 17. Then we're going to simplify by multiplying everything out by that negative 8. We're going to combine like terms, and then solve for x by subtracting 128 from both sides. Then we divide by negative 37, and we get x equals 3. Now we have x, but we need to know what y equals. So we're going to take this value for x and plug it in up at our y equals. So y equals 5 times 3 minus 16. Well, 5 times 3 is just 15, minus 16 is 1. So our y is equal to negative 1. Don't forget to write it as a point, 3, negative 1. Here's another example. X plus 2y is equal to 8, and negative 4x minus 4y is equal to negative 12. We're looking for a lonely variable. The loneliest variable here is this x. So we're going to take the 2y and subtract it from both sides. That's how we get 8 minus 2y. So now we know that x is equal to 8 minus 2y, so we're going to take that and plug it in the other equation. So now we have negative 4 times 8 minus 2y minus 4y equals negative 12. Be careful with your signs here. Distribute your negative 4. Combine your like terms. Now we're solving for y, so we add 32 to both sides. Divide by 4, and we get y equals 5. Now we're going to take what y equals, 5, and plug it back in to figure out what x equals. You could use any of these equations. The reason I choose this one is because it says x equals. So it's very simple to simplify. So when I plug that into that equation, I get 8 minus 2 times 5, which is just 8 minus 10, which is negative 2. Now remember, your point's x, y, so it's going to be negative 2, 5. Even though we found the 5 first, the negative 2 goes first because x comes before y. Remember, we are substituting values and equations into variables. Just like we did when we made tables to graph, you replace the variable with the equation or value. Substituting is just replacing. Don't forget to take your notes and do the completion survey. Bring any questions you have to class or put them on the survey.